Hey, everybody. Welcome to a Saturday afternoon broadcast here on the Cat Plus channel. We've got Mike Oeming joining us today and Taki Soma as well, though off camera. And let's get this show on the road. It's a beautiful day here where I'm at. And let's see if the same is true for Michael. Hey, Michael.
Hey
How
man,
is,
how's it going,
how,
bro?
how is the Pacific Northwest treating you right now?
Cold and rainy, which is how I like it.
That's perfect. I'll tell you, it's down here in Central Florida. It is hot and humid. It is, I've got the AC going, and yeah, I'm
No,
not
I
enjoying it right now.
I like my weather, Lord of the Rings style, like somewhere in between the Shire and like the Barrow Downs or something like that.
Right,
Like
right.
low.
Prancing pony, is that?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Some low overcast clouds and wind is good.
You need to wear, your cloak with a hood, of course, just to be,
I have it. I do have that.
yeah. Well, see, I've never needed one, but I've always wanted one.
Yeah, you make a good Gandalf for sure.
I'm getting there. I'm definitely getting there. I have to work on that beard though, but I'll be yeah. I don't have
You
the
should see
staff
my
yet
beard.
though.
I've been working at
Yeah.
it for a while.
Taki's good. She can grow a mean beard.
Yeah.
Oh man. Wow.
I'm in my
All right.
50s. I still can't connect my mustache to down here.
That's why I actually shave it there because it never connects. So I'm like, oh, I might as well just make sure it's permanent that it never
All
connects.
right.
What are you gonna
Like
do,
a
man? It's
weird
like,
special genetic club.
right. We're in our mid 50s. It's not gonna get any better or more fuller at this point in life.
Yeah, evidently I'm not going to get any taller either. I was like, maybe.
Doggone it. Well, yeah, Alberto's trying to get me to say lines from the Lord of the Rings. That is not going to happen, Alberto. If I had a staff in hand, I might do that. All I've got is a pen, though. That doesn't quite make me feel as, wizardly. But hey, it's been a while since we've talked. I think the last time we did one of these shows was like November of 2024. So, lots changed for me in that time. I think, we've had two OAX shows and just, lots of different things have been going on. I mean, heck, we've released an app for comic art fans. So I have to believe that things have changed a lot for you and Taki as well. So you can, give me the rundown on what like the last 16 months have been like in the household.
Almost nothing has changed.
No.
Almost nothing is new. Just a long list of work. Yeah, it's just we just make comics all day, all night. I'm happy to say that that's what we do, and also that this place here you're talking about. It's been like a year almost since I was last here. This is the only place I'm selling art. We have a website that we keep promising ourselves that we're going to put more stuff up onto, but bandwidth is always an issue. So so pretty much exclusively we're just this is it. This is where you can get the stuff. And from last year to this year, we have some moving type plans that we talked about earlier, just off camera, and that's kind of it. Everything else is about work and deadlines, which I love. Those are all great words to me. That none of those are like heavy, tough words. You know what I mean? Like yeah, a deadline's like my second best friend.
Really, you're probably. I can't say I've heard that before, but that's a great work ethic and ethos to live by. Deadlines usually are like the last thing people want to have, but
make them your friend. Just design your life around it and stuff so you can hit those deadlines and get stuff done and not go crazy. But yeah, working on a lot of projects. I'll list some of them off for you. I had to write them down. So Powers 25 is back. Brian and I and Nick Filardi doing Powers with a new cast with some of the legendary characters still involved. I think the first 5 issues are out. Really happy. Brian and I are just having the time of our life. Nick is just going wild doing new stuff color-wise that we're all excited about. We've got future plans for more Powers. We have a project that Brian and I and Taki started together during the pandemic, and then we put it aside for a bit, and we're going to go back and finish that as well. So those are 2 things happening. There's a secret Powers project thing going on that we thought we might have been able to announce just before this, but didn't quite happen. I'm doing another BPRD Mignolaverse related book, which is 4 issues, and I'm 2 issues into that. I've got just finished up Red Book stuff with James Tinian, and I've got another story thing that I'm working on with him. And what else? There's a graphic novel I've been working on for about a year and a half with Douglas Rushkoff. We did Alistair and Adolf together. And then there's a 24 one-shot project I was just offered. So those are literally all the things that are actively happening right now.
Well, how was Red Book received? Because I think it was a 4 issues, right? 4 issues series, and the last one just came out.
Yeah, it's doing really well. People love it, especially within the UFO community or fringy community. It's a spinoff of Blue Book, obviously, but this takes place in the communist countries, so it's mostly in China and Russia. But there's also a lot about how a lot of this seems to revolve really around defense and secrecy, and so like the United States is wrapped into it. And what was interesting was I found all of this older history of working with the phenomenon in Russia and China. It all sort of culminates into some of the stuff happening now, where we've seen like that UFO footage released by the Air Force or from the Department of Defense, and like what that's all about, and all the drone stuff happening now. And it's sort of the same old story being told over and over again, just through different generations. So it's really interesting how these weird stories that seem to have nothing to do together started to culminate into today. So all 4 issues of that I think are out right now, and then the trade will be out in the summertime at the end of like June or July.
Very cool. I mean, having worked on Blue Book and then Red Book, have you gotten any strange emails, requests for clandestine, meetups, at all, or is that fringe side of things not made its way to your inbox?
But like not for that reason.
Yeah. Yeah, for only weirder things.
If only it could be as sedated as UFO. I don't know. I don't want to call it, people who are very, fanatical about the UFO phenomenon. But so it hasn't really, you guys haven't been inundated with emails and questions. And have you thought about, looking into these, different avenues? I mean, why haven't you talked about UFOs underneath the sea? And, who knows?
Sure. We haven't had any complaints so far. Specifically, people within the UFO community are very supportive about this stuff. It's funny. It's not quite the glasses pushing thing you get in comics where like, well, actually, so and so is this and that. It's much more supportive about just explaining these things, because very few people claim to have any answers. So most of us are kind of like, yeah, that sounds interesting.
Well, that's good. And it seems like in the the search for Sasquatch groups that there's always like people who feel like they know more than the next group, right?
Now that's a strange group of people. Like it's kind of like in comics, like when I started working on Thor, I was kind of warned a little bit of like Thor fans are intense, and like the only people more intense than Thor fans are Hulk fans, and like there are certain parts of a field that will get very intense. And yeah, the Bigfoot community is way different than the UFO community, and there's definitely a lot more intense strangeness going on there. Comic book fans aren't too weird, but the Bigfoot fans are pretty out there.
Well, that's good to know. Did that influence your decision at all? You decided not to do a Bigfoot book. The UFO book was, definitely in the right wheelhouse. It had the right fan base and followers that were conducive.
Bigfoot does play a little bit of a part. There's this thing that happened in Russia called the Dyatlov Pass, where these hikers in Russia went missing, and when they were found, there was all this really, really weird stuff going on. Like, it's in the freezing Ural Mountains, and it looked like they tore their tents up from the inside out, and like their bodies were found in states of undress and underwear, like they were like rushing to get out of the tents, even in the dead of winter, and parts of their bodies were smashed and like were missing and stuff.
Which is really weird too, because in that intense cold, you don't go to sleep without clothes on.
Yeah, so even why would they not have clothes on? None of it made sense. And in the remains, one of the things that they found was a photo that looked like a possible Bigfoot sighting, like one of these blurry, off in a distance things.
Of
And I think
course.
it was just somebody in their outfit. It was just a bad photo. But yeah, Bigfoot makes a little appearance there. Or I guess it would have been the cousin of the Yeti or something like that because of being connected to the same continent.
I've ridden the Everest ride at at Disney's Animal Kingdom many times, and
Same
they
thing.
it is the same thing. As you're walking through those staging lines, you get a whole display of a torn up tent with a blurry photograph, and they try
Oh,
to
wow. Wow.
they, yeah, it's I'm sure there's a walkthrough on YouTube, but it is pretty cool to see what they do because they take artifacts that they're trying to put you in the setting of 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 where you might see a Yeti, and then as you walk through that, they start showing you like these are the artifacts that they found, and this is the
Yeah.
remains of this, and it's great, as you walk through it, and then you get on the ride, and you get to see a Yeti, near the end. Spoiler for those of you who've not ever ridden the Everest ride, but that's what's fun about it takes you someplace else. Again, it's back what comics do for us every day, right? I mean,
Yeah.
it gets us out of the humdrum daily life of I have chickens now, right? I'm happy to lose myself in a comic or a Sherlock Holmes movie or something. But anyway,
Yeah.
back to us on this stuff. So you have been busy. When I looked at comics.org, it seemed like you pretty much have had a project coming out or one that you were working on pretty much since we last talked. I mean, you had the
Oh, sure.
the Shadow of the Golden Crane
Yep.
4-issue series that came out, and you just mentioned that you were working on another one. I mean, I know that you've talked about working in the Hellboy universe and Mike Mignola in the past, but I mean, how did the Shadow of the Golden Crane book come out? Because I think you were just starting that when we did our last show.
Yeah, that came about like right around when I was turning 50. I was just looking back on career stuff and very happy with where things have gone and how they've landed, and very grateful for my position and stuff. And then one of the things I was looking at was I was one of the earliest people to do a BPRD story. It was one of the Soul of Venice was like really early on, and at the time, I don't think any of us knew how big the Mignola-verse, he hates that term, was going to spin out and be. So like I didn't really stick around to do more. And like as I was looking back, I was disappointed that I hadn't done more stuff with Mike. So I reached out and friends with Christopher Robertson, who's here in Portland. And we met up at the Rose City Comic Con, and we had like dinner and stuff. And we just talked about this project that they had vague ideas for, which was Shadow of the Golden Crane. And that would then led into this thing that we're doing now, which Chris is also writing. And Shadow of the Golden Crane was an investigation into one of the characters and her past and her family, reaching back into ancient China and like this sort of secret society, and how her paranormal past ties in with this past and stuff. So it got to be this big generational story that just expanded more of the BPRD universe. And that was a lot of fun. Crystal Halloran did the colors, really brought that world to life, and just had a great time. Got to do some ghost stuff, some martial arts stuff, some paranormal stuff. It was one of those books where I just got to do a little bit of everything that I enjoy.
Sure. I was just going to say, I assume that it felt very comfortable working in those genres with those types of characters.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, anything in Mike's world is fun to play around with.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like your style is well suited for the Mignola verse.
Yeah. Well, he's obviously, Mike's always been one of my biggest influences, going back to not to make him feel old, but when I was a kid, some of the first comics I was reading, it was in the mid '80s, and there was the Marvel house style really took over everything. And there was a few artists who stood out. There was like Rick Leonardi, Mike Mignola was one of them, Art Adams, obviously, just a handful of guys who weren't doing that sort of, various versions of John Buscema kind of and Jack Kirby kind of mix, right?
Right.
And Mike was one of them. And I remember like it was like an early Peter Parker story that was a backup, and it had like the Hobgoblin in it, and it was just like all these weird shapes and shadows. And I was hooked on Mike's work from day one, and just watched it evolve over the years. And yeah, he's just obviously one of my biggest influences.
Well, and I mean, getting to work in anything related to the Hellboy universe has to be fun. I mean, and it's cool that you're going to get to do a follow-up now too. Is there
Yeah,
a timeline on that?
Yeah, this is fun. It's kind of a spy book, and I'm leaning further away from like kind of what I did in Shadow of the Golden Crane, which is even further away from like my more heavily Mike Mignola influenced stuff. Like when I did Abe Sapien, I did an issue of Abe Sapien. So I've gotten further and further away from some of his influence in there to just do something different. I mean, I know Mike likes various artists and styles on his books. So we're doing something a little closer to Murder Inc. Taki is coloring it, and it's much more design heavy, a lot more thinner lines, a lot more abstraction, and sort of 60s influenced design. Dave Johnson's doing one of the covers, which will give you an idea of like, the kind of look it'll have. So really having fun with it, and it's really out there and taking some chances and, keeping it fresh.
No, that's fantastic. But timeline wise, do you know when that's going to be coming out?
No. No, I almost know none of my books are coming out. As I read off that list to you, as you can see, my day is basically I start drawing at the breakfast table. Like this is the same table I have breakfast at, and I just pulled my computer. I took my iPad off of it, which I was working on that project, and then put the laptop right there. So like that is my day. It goes right from work into lunch, into work, into chores, into that kind of thing. So I don't pay any attention to my emails or deadlines. That's why I have Taki helping me with everything, because there's just too much going on. But that's also the life of freelancing. You have to say yes to every project that comes along, because you don't know what will fall through. You don't know what projects will be put on hold. So you can say no to projects because this one project's supposed to land, and that project will still happen, but it can get bumped for months, and then you have no income. Right. So you just basically, I have to say yes to everything and then figure out my life and schedule around that. That's just the reality of working freelance,
Mm-hmm. Well, it's great that you and Taki can work together when the work gets a little deeper than you're comfortable with, right? I mean, the relationship you have had makes that easier to take on a couple extra jobs here or there.
For sure. And she keeps me sane, because like what I used to do is just try to work as quickly and as hard as I could through like one thing at a time or something. And she really figured out this sort of schedule that would really help me break things up into days and weeks. And like, sometimes it's literally, what am I working on just that day? Other times it'll be through the week, going back and forth here. I'll show you just a quick shot of, this is what it'll look like sometimes.
Don't read them. Right? There's some top secret stuff in there. Nobody take a screenshot of that.
It's all written in code. I can't understand it. I can't.
All right. Oh man.
She dresses like that all the time.
All probably at the breakfast. Well, you're at the breakfast table. Right?
Yeah, exactly. The breakfast work table.
So I was watching.
She still doesn't know what I really look like under my mask.
Yeah, she's a never nude, but just for her face.
There you go.
He doesn't know what to say to that.
Oh man. Brendan says, someone who has worked with you on a few projects at Dark Horse and TFAW, I can confirm that. No checking email.
Brendan, thank you, and I am sorry.
Well, if they have your cell, they can always send you a text or pick up the phone and call you when you're ignoring your emails.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's not that I used to be really on top of like the email stuff, but like frankly, the both the amount of work, and then I'm a caregiver for Taki here at home, so like I'm doing most of the house chore type stuff. So
I clearly need help.
So a lot, like I just decided I have to let some things go, and communicating with editors is
well, as long as you're there to email and reply to the jobs to say yes, I'll take that. That's that's really all you need.
That's all I need to know is, when is it due? That's it.
So, I didn't know what background you were going to have today because I saw an interview you had done a few months ago, and there was, there was a lot of framed art on the wall behind you. So it must have been in a different space, right?
And no, it's the same space. I was just facing the opposite direction.
Ah, so you're looking at all the artwork right now,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
All right. Well, I thought maybe we were going to see because I think typically you've been in your studio a lot of times when we've done the interviews in the past, and I feel like there's always been like a poster or something on the wall, and so I was just
Yeah, I mean, I
surprised when I
can
was.
turn this around very quickly and show you ours. Here we go.
Ah, yes, that is the wall I was looking at earlier. Oh, nice. Now, is any of the art up there yours, or just art that you've collected from other creators?
One is Mike's, and everything else is, somebody else's work.
Yeah, the big piece in the middle is a spirit page for an issue that I get to write and draw way back in like 2007.
And it's my favorite piece that he's done, and I don't know. It's just one of my favorites. So we have to frame it and we have to keep it.
Well, we didn't frame it ourselves. It was framed because it went up at a museum locally.
But Mike doesn't practice hanging up his own wall on art on a wall. But I'm like, I need that.
Yeah, it's not something we typically do, but it was a beautiful frame. I am really proud of that piece, getting to work on the Spectre. And the other piece, the Spirit. Sorry. And then the other pieces up there, we've got like Mike Allred pieces, Rick Leonardi, Jaime Hernandez, David Mack, Phil Hester, Neil Vokes, Mike Allred, a bunch of other friends and stuff. So that's what we like to sort of surround ourselves by is the artwork.
Mm-hmm.
Now, have you worked with Allred before? I'm trying to remember.
I did. I worked with him on a Spirit book for Kitchen Sink Press with him and Matt Brundage way back in the mid 90s. Yeah, like mid 90s. Yeah. What was neat about that was I designed this robot character, and Will Eisner drew that robot character on the cover. So like I sketched something out that he drew, and that was like incredible.
Wow, that's totally I would be as a creator be thrilled to have Eisner having drawn something that I had created.
Oh, it's mind blowing. Oh, and just yesterday, I was down at the Northwest Museum of Comic Art down in Portland, and right now they're having a Will Eisner exhibition. So the whole place is just filled with original Eisner pieces. It's in downtown Portland. If you get a chance, you should go see it. It was mind blowing. Typically, when I see comic book art, it's very inspirational, and like I can't wait to get back home and draw. And I'm looking at pieces and trying to figure it out. This was one of the few experiences ever that gave me like that sort of imposter syndrome feeling. Like I was just looking at his pieces, going like, I'm doing everything wrong. I've never done anything as good as any of these. And it was just a sort of a revelation to just stand there looking at the stuff. And I think the time period in which he was doing this, what tools he had, limited tools he had at his disposal, and the mind that he had to sort of map out an area. It was like him and Jack Kirby, who mapped out a page in the way that nobody else ever did. Kirby brought this energy and this dynamicism to the page that nobody had ever envisioned before. And Eisner designed the page like nobody ever had before. And to stand in front of that was, it was overwhelming. In fact, I could only take a couple of pictures and leave. Like I couldn't really stand there too long. And I'm still confused by my own reaction over it. So if you get a chance to go check it out.
It's incredible. I saw the Eisner exhibition in Wisconsin, 17 years ago or something like that. And I remember my knees went weak and I was confused and inspired. And it was really weird and life-changing to be. It sounds really dramatic, but it was pretty dramatic.
Yeah, for sure.
You see all the the whiteout that he used on the paper, and he would scratch
rain,
scratch texture into the paper. It's a lot of things where you're looking at and you're like, oh, that's what he was doing.
Yeah.
And why didn't I think of that? Yeah, it's incredible.
Yeah, she's saying all this to me with a Batman mask on. She still has it.
Right.
I always have it on.
It's all those old school tricks before they had, Photoshop and other ways to manipulate. You look at Ramita's senior pieces
my
where
God.
he's hatching in, like you said, raindrops or bullet holes or action lines, that kind of stuff. I mean, you did what you had to do to get the effects that you wanted. You didn't really care
I'm
about
sitting there with Clip Studio, which like it has like grid layouts and like your perspective tools to basically just do the work for you, and there's so much of the tools, especially digitally, that do the work for you, and to think about how many crutches we have these days when we're working is pretty mind-blowing compared to the masters, which is why I still like to draw analog, keep those muscles going, because it would be easy to atrophy and just forget how to do things properly.
Right. I was on your Instagram earlier today, and watching some of the video clips where you were talking about the arm gestures to get the long lines, and like you got to keep those skill sets up, right? And it's cool that you're talking about it and letting people know that's how it's done and the right way to do it.
Yeah. And I love the digital tools. I love using a stabilizer to make nice smooth lines when I'm making digitally, but it is nowhere near as rewarding. In fact, it's not rewarding, to be honest. What is rewarding is working analog and making the perfect brush line and stuff like that. When you're working digitally, it is a mixture of you and this tool, that it is a tool of necessity more than it is preferable, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, no, it does. And people want me to put the Captain America mask on. I'll save that for the end of the show.
Okay.
I got plenty of masks around here. Cap, I've got a Hulk mask over there. I mean, there's a little bit of everything.
Too, but I can't find it.
Okay.
I think there's a Magneto helmet, a Thor helmet. I mean, I got a little bit of everything here, but yeah, I haven't
put it all on at the same time.
That has not happened yet. I don't know. People, you should see what happens when I do. People make stickers out of these things. That's why I know they do screen grab images from the shows that we do, and it can come back to haunt you.
That's funny.
Yeah, I've got what was the one? It was a Magneto one. Yeah, I think I got that. Somebody printed up an OAX sticker for me, and it had me in a Magneto mask where I actually had my hands out like I was trying to move something. I don't know. And
that's you in your natural state. That's all.
Exactly, and they captioned it and everything. So yeah, no, it's yeah. I'll save that for later in the show. But yeah, no, again, I looking at the Instagram earlier too. I mean, it was just fun getting to hear your thoughts on social media and the places where you're getting more traction than not, and and navigating that world today is definitely different. I mean, we're all, I think anybody who's a professional is always trying to find ways to best promote their the work that they do and how to get in front of the right audiences. And you had mentioned Blue Sky, and that's not one that I've used a lot. Like Comic Fans does have a Blue Sky account, but I know that a lot of creators, not just in comics, but in illustration and animation, moved to Blue Sky, about a year ago, or a little, maybe even a little longer than that. And I always see them talking very positively about the platform. So you had a good experience working on Blue Sky?
Yeah, I also think it does depend on what your field of concentration is. It works great, I think, for comic creators because there's a lot of other comic creators and comic fans there. But I think comic creators and comic fans, like for you, isn't quite the same audience as the art collectors. Like, there's definitely a Venn diagram that tightly overlays, but they're like, I even noticed, like on Facebook and stuff, like the art collectors seem to be in a slightly different group than, say, the actual comic readers or comics fans. Not that they aren't those, but it's just a slightly different thing. So there are people I know who just could never get any traction on Blue Sky. But I was never, the only reason why numbers are important or were important in any way is because if you're self-employed and you're trying to sell something or communicate to an audience, right? So you do want numbers, right?
Sure.
And I far exceeded my Twitter and Instagram followers in the short time that I've been on Blue Sky. And I haven't done anything. I'm no master of hashtags. Sometimes I don't even bother. Like, I think that was one of the things I was saying. I was like, I don't care. Like, if you're following me, you'll see it or you won't. And like, I'm not chasing the numbers anymore. But that said, for whatever reason, traction on Blue Sky is much, much stronger than it was for me anywhere else. In the decades that I've been on Twitter compared to Blue Sky, it was strange that, I have like 8,000 more followers there. And it's just growing every day. And I'm not doing anything particularly clever.
Well, I think I'll have to sign up for my own Blue Sky account and give it I just haven't had the time, there's only so many places you can focus your attention, right? But
and I guess my only pitch there is I think it's not driven by an algorithm in the same way that Instagram and Twitter are, which are like, they're kind of pay to play. And you get throttled on those other channels. But Blue Sky seems to be a natural following.
Right. Well, there's no monetization issues, and those
yeah.
sorts of things, right?
One day, I'm sure it'll all be destroyed.
Well, I was trying to find exactly. Well, as most platforms end up being, I guess, when they get down that, and they have shareholders and things that need to, influence stuff. But yeah, I get it. It's I never really got the vibe with Twitter either. It just was like, how much can you say in 2 sentences, or or whatever.
I really enjoy TikTok, but I get no traction there either as far as like an audience goes, and that's kind of what triggered that one post. Was like, I realized I didn't care. I was like, there's something about the small audience on TikTok that I actually enjoy more than other places, and I get exposed to other creators who aren't in the mainstream or even indie scene in comics. Like, there's a whole set of people who are publishing comics and they're only selling them through their own websites and through stores like TikTok and stuff, and they're really good. And it's really interesting to follow and to find these guys doing really inspirational work just outside of the rules of the kind of comics that I have to do or want to do. I don't know.
Right. Well, that makes sense. That definitely makes sense. And I did appreciate your comments on Claude and ChatGPT.
Oh yeah.
We won't dive into that here, but it's always good to talk about it, right? I mean, that could be a whole show by itself.
Yeah. But very quickly, I just want to reiterate, it is strange to see AI influencers tell you how strong their tools are, and they're trying to sell courses, and like, but you just told me that this AI stuff can do everything that you do better. Like, to watch themselves fire themselves, like this technology is why would I take your AI class to learn from you if you've just literally told me that this thing does everything
that you're selling?
Yeah, and then they'll explain how they used it to come up with their ideas, and I'm like, those aren't your ideas. Anyway, I'm sorry.
I know. No, you're preaching to the choir over here.
I know.
But
the
it
outsourcing
was
of your intelligence, and I don't have enough to outsource in the first place. I'm not very smart. I can't have somebody else thinking for me. The few good ideas that I have, they need to be mine. When I go to Subways and I ask the guy to put more pickles on or less pickles on, or not to make the sandwich this way, I still didn't make the sandwich. That's not my, Anyway.
And it's hard to rattle a Subway employee with the with the way you're going to try to mix things up on the sandwich. I've thought a few times that I've thrown a wrinkle that'll make them look at me strangely, and it never happens. So because I'm in the mood for something a little different, even if I end up picking it up.
Poor Subway guy is just crying because he's like, I don't know anything about AI. Why is he yelling at me? I don't know. I'm not using it.
Oh man.
Your job title, I think, is called sandwich artist.
Ironically enough, yeah.
Yes.
It's more handmade than the AI art. Anyway.
Yeah, Josh says that AI hasn't learned to make his sandwiches yet or clean his house.
That'll be the day. That's when we're in trouble.
Exactly. What was it? Zach had asked you if you ever looked at Whatnot. It was a place to sell some of your books or whatnot. Is that I actually have never really done much on Whatnot. I've looked at a few shows, but I've never really explored it as a sales platform.
It sounds really familiar, but I don't.
Then the answer is no.
Okay.
Not at all. Well, I'm just reading through the chat. But so, Well, we should probably show some art because I want to talk about Powers 25, but I think the first, well, no, maybe not the first couple pieces are Powers 25, but like there's several pieces from that. I thought it'd be fun to talk about that project while we looked at the art for sale. Is that cool
Sure.
if we segue over that way? Okay.
Absolutely.
So as everybody knows, we are doing an art sale today. We'll be dropping, I think it's 23 pieces of art. And for those who have not watched the show before, claims will happen in the chat. We have with the 23 pieces, I'm going to show a slide. It's got a lot number on it. Just say claim and the lot number in the chat, and the first person who does that claims the artwork. And I actually have some slides that I should be showing while I'm going over those notes, shouldn't I? Here we go. Yeah, see, claims happen in the chat. And if you claim any artworks, we want you to email us after the show. The email is sales@comicartfans.com. Those come into me, and another staffer here as well, so we can take care of the post-show things like invoicing you and collecting your mailing address. We prefer payment via Zelle or Venmo, or even a personal check if you can get it in the mail right away. We like to avoid any fees back to you, but if we do need to use PayPal, we do charge a 4% fee for US buyers and 5.5% if you're international. So, but yeah, no fee is always the best way to go, and personal checks are cool too. And as far as shipping goes, I have all the art in hand, so I will be shipping the artwork after we receive payment. Domestic shipping is $35, international is $70. We pack everything in Masonite, so it's very, very, very well protected. I can tell you that. Lots of people send me art back in the packages and the packing materials that I sent out to them when I buy something from them. So I know that the stuff gets saved, used, reused, and all that, and that's the way we like it around here. But yeah, so outside of that, the only thing I would remind everybody is I think everybody's on YouTube today because once again, the stream failed to go to Facebook for whatever reason. There is a live button right in the lower left-hand corner of the screen. If you're on mobile, I know that it's someplace as well, but if you're on desktop, it's definitely down there. Hit the live button or refresh your browser because that'll get you as close to real time as everybody else who's in the chat or and us here in the studio, because we're a few seconds in the future but as the buffering goes. So the thing is we see everything in real time in the chat, so we'll be able to know who's claimed the artwork and those sorts of things. Let's see, what did Brent say? If I get anything, but okay, well, we'll see. The gift that keeps on giving is Masonite. You're right, no. So any tariffs? And I will say this. I actually, for the first time ever, and I don't know, Michael, maybe you get things shipped to you a lot, probably more than I do, but I had an art shipment come from the UK, and also something that I ordered that I didn't realize, from an online shop that I didn't realize was out of the country. I got my first FedEx bills, and they weren't a lot. It was like $13 for one, maybe $12 for another, but tariffs are a real thing now. I mean, I was a little surprised, that hadn't happened before.
Wow. Yeah, I don't think we've gotten anything international recently, so
okay,
I've dodged that.
Well, that's good, and maybe it's just
I buy locally.
Well, one was just Brian Hitch had sent me some artwork that for some stuff to sell, and so it was just him sending me materials that because he had to declare a value on it that FedEx tagged something. And the other thing, I bought a jacket online because I was a little lazy, and I'll tell you, it's hard to find the right jacket in Central Florida. They don't really sell the right kind of stuff. So I was like, I'm going to go online and buy it, and it turned out it was where it shipped from. Bottom line is I was shocked to get invoices. So
I think we're all getting ready, prepared to be shocked at prices and stuff.
Exactly. All right. So
not for this, but I meant just in general.
No, not for this. All of your artwork is always very modestly priced, Mike. We've done these shows in a few times in the past, and I think pricing today you're going to see everybody is it's usually between say $400 for interiors up to maybe $1,300 for covers. But you have covers in here that are very very affordable. So anyways, we might as well start showing some slides. So remember, everybody, the live button in the lower left-hand corner is your friend. You can hit it numerous times throughout the show, and as long as you're actually live, it won't even skip ahead a second or two. But it's a good reassurance to have that in place. Okay, well, let's see. I know, like I say, the first couple pieces are not powers related, and I'm not familiar with this first one. So you're going to have to help
Ah,
me know a little bit about this one. So this is the first lot. It's $1,200. It's from something called Bug Wars: The Spider Witch, and it's from Image Comics. It's on 11 by 17. So, and I have an image of the published cover up there in the upper left. So tell me about this piece, because it's I love the composition, Mike. It's really really
thanks.
gorgeous.
Bug Wars is a hit book over at Image. Jason Aaron is the writer, and it's been around for like 12 issues or a year. Yeah, we could see people in the comments talking about how good Bug Wars is, and they did the spinoff of one of their characters. So basically, it all takes place in this person's backyard, basically a kid's backyard. It's almost like a reverse Spider-Man, where this kid is like shrunk down into this world in his backyard where there's like all this deep mythology based around the insect lore and insect world. And this is one of the characters called the Spider Witch. And it was a lot of fun to do. It was a great design. And I just had a ton of fun drawing this one. Those webs were a pain in the butt, though.
But the composition is really good.
Oh, thank you.
So did you have to go through a few brush pens, to fill in all the blacks on this one?
Yeah, that's the worst part, man. That took so long. But it's also still really rewarding is to, filling in the original and finishing it. Because so much of my work I'm doing production-wise just to get pages done and to move them along, so I don't get time to sit there and fill the black in. But I knew on certain pieces that I'm working on, especially covers, I'm going to sell them. So I'll usually at that moment, right then and there, just start filling in the black. And it is calming and rewarding, but I'm also like, I got to move on to the next thing. Panic, panic, panic.
Right, because we've talked about that before. A lot of times you'll just kind of do all the line work, and then in order to expedite getting things to the publisher, you'll fill out the blacks in digitally, and then go back in after works when you have time sometimes and fill in the blacks. I mean, is that still the process? Yep.
Yeah, for the most part. Except for these covers like this, like I just knew that this is going to come together really nicely. It was a lot of fun. I also, I don't get a chance often to draw sexy people because it's usually powers and people in dark, ugly, being killed or or crying or in car accidents and stuff like that. So it was fun to do a pretty mainstream cover like this. And her blades there were really fun because I realized with this like twisted turn to them that they could really help with composition. It's both framing her head and then bringing the eye down around towards the spider in the middle. And this whole thing was just a lot of fun composition.
Wow, I think it's fantastic. Well, anyway, I was just trying to do a little research while we were talking, but I'll have to come back to whatever the thought I was trying to pull together related to this image. But again, I think I love it a lot. And Newell says it's a really awesome cover. That's very true. So let's see. We'll move on to the second item here, and Exquisite Corpse. This is from issue 6, so a cover to that, and the coloring is very cool on this one as well. But the image is so striking, and again, very in your face, and and I guess it even has kind of the same motion and movement as the last piece did. You kind of are bringing the viewer's eyes around, following the blades, kind of like the webbing in the last one. But have you worked with any Tinian projects previous to this one?
Oh, just we worked on Blue Book.
I'm sorry. Duh.
All right. There's Blue Book, and I've done a few other bits and pieces for him here and there. There's a piece of right after this, or just before we're doing like an Alien Zodiac for his True Weird book.
Somebody's asking who colored I think the last piece.
The previous piece I colored myself.
Yeah.
Which was really tough because I kept screwing it up. Sometimes a piece is really easy to color, and then other times it presents really difficult challenges. This one was interesting because Tinian's company has like a branded color a branded color palette that kind of fuchsia like color there, and that's to be a very specific Pantone color. And I'm not a very specific or technical colorist, so I needed their help to really nail it correctly. So I worked pretty closely with Tinian's production team on this. And Exquisite Corpses, if you don't know, is this massive hit, another massive hit of Tinian's about sort of serial killer Hunger Games. And this character really just drew me to her immediately. I love the fox mask, anything kind of anthropomorphic I really like. And again, as you mentioned with the swords, one of the things I really enjoy doing is framing a character. Like, how can you turn the page into like a series of frames to guide the character? And here I kind of doubled up with the swords, the droplet of blood behind her, and that mouth, that animal mouth that is superimposed in white there. Really had a lot of fun with this cover. It's a really cool character. There's also like a set of trading card games that go along with this. So I've seen people at conventions playing these games as well. And I think Exquisite Corpses got some sort of film deal or something. I forget. He's had so many sort of big announcements recently. He's hard to keep up with.
Well, it was fun when I was trying to find this cover. It was, I'm trying to search on your name and the title, and it was tough. But the thing is, there's the covers for this series are just, very striking. They're very very character focused. Light in some cases on backgrounds, and I think that's fun because it really does focus on the design of the characters themselves. And it was just striking, doing a Google image search and just seeing such character focused cover work. I'm just not used to that when I'm doing image searches looking for references for other things that I might be doing for work. But I was happy when I found yours. I had to finesse that Google image search to get that one.
Well, it's tricky too because it's an alternate cover, right? So like a lot of times the alternate covers just don't get much press because there's it's not the main cover, and especially if there's multiples of them. And when I was coloring this, like one of the first attempts I did was that splotch in the background, that blood drop. I actually wanted it to just be white. So a white background with the character colored and stuff. But again, there's all these neat little challenges that you're met with along the way when you think you're going to go in one direction, and then you end up going in a different direction.
Did you do the teeth separately?
Yeah, the teeth are all separate. Yeah, I just did that digitally and added a small glowing effect around it. I think I added that once I realized there wasn't going to be a logo. You can still kind of see the logo space that I left there. But once I realized there wasn't going to be a logo, I was like, okay, it does need an extra element to go on here.
To kind of frame the character.
Yeah. Well, that makes sense. Well, thank you to Tim Danner for picking this one up.
Thank you, Tim. Yay. Tim Danner.
Has broken the ice. And as everybody knows, you'll be emailing sales@comicartfans.com after the show today. Well, awesome. So that's somebody asked, are you going to do any cover work for his new Odin book?
Oh, I don't know what I should ask. Well, I don't have any time, but I'll ask you that.
All right. Well, moving right along. Let's see this next piece. Here we go. So first piece from Powers 25. This is a page from issue 2. It's Cutter, and I remember when I showed this off on Thursday, and I was like, "This is a pretty haunting kind of page."
Yeah.
And throughout that part of the story, just seeing that gaping hole and that face was really. I mean, you were really evoking, I think, the things you were hoping to in people who were reviewing it, because even I love horror, and I didn't find it repulsive or anything like that, but it made me not, what I mean, it made me feel a little uneasy every time I saw it. And
sometimes the lack of blood to things can be even more disturbing for some reason, so like in this story there's a interdimensional portal thing that got shot into this guy's face, so his face is missing and it's sort of like healed up the area on the inside, so it's not like dripping and splattered everywhere. But it makes for a very, very disturbing image.
Yeah.
It kind of takes me back to in the very, very, very early days of Powers. I did a little ride along thing with my local police, and I'm in the police headquarters there, and I'm waiting for one of the cops as we're talking and stuff. And there's a book next to the thing called Identifying Gunshot Wounds. And I opened it up, and it was the most horrific thing I saw, not because of blood and gore, but it was like autopsy shots after things are cleaned up. So it's just, blossomed flower-like wounds in people. It was just the worst thing I've ever seen. So I kind of tapped into that a little bit with this because, the lack of blood can actually be pretty gross. But the whole idea behind this whole page and this scene was I really wanted to play around with the light, she's using the flashlight on her iPhone, which will create like shadows and negative and positive spaces. And it was really fun when Nick colored this because he started to use this sort of, you see in the white, there's all this texture. Mm-hmm. So he's using like this texture to describe the light as it passes through and around objects. And just a lot of fun to do a serious hardcore noir scene with lots of black.
Yeah.
Well, it is very moody, and again, just your use of the shadows, the figure shadows on the wall. I mean, it just all around. I think this is a very cool page. And again, 9-panel layouts are always interesting to look at. I mean, I think that they're one of my, along with like the classic, Silver Age 4-panel layouts. I think the 9, as being my favorite. The 9-panel layout grid like this is my second favorite. I just, there's a history behind panel design, and this just helps tell a story really well. All right, I mean, you look at Watchmen, right, using this all the time. I mean, there's something about it. So love this page.
I love that kind of pacing for sure.
All right, well, our next page, let's see here. So that was lot 3, priced at $500. So lot 4 is next. And this one's priced at $1,200. It's a DPS, a very complicated scene with the Walker cutter. As a DPS, it's on 2 11x17 boards, so it's 22 by 17. And again, back to I love how you take a scene and then determine like where you're going to fill in the blacks. Like I love the part of this page that I really like a lot is on the left side near the top, the 2 characters who are silhouette, who are in darkness in there. It just helps your eye move through the a little bit quicker, and you think, okay, I don't have to focus on the details there, but you help me focus in on things that are more important by the way you handle the darks and the lights here. And this is a really, really nice looking page.
Thanks, man. Yeah, I mean that's the most fun, and what I was talking about before about using framing figures on a page. So it's fun that those 2 silhouetted figures, they're telling a little bit of a story there. It's a guy with a cape on who's like handcuffed to his chair, and he's being interviewed by, I guess, like an undercover cop and stuff. But you can tell through the shadows what's happening without being distracted by the details of like their collar and their shirt and all that. And again, it really just creates a frame around Walker and Dina. And it's funny, I can never look at a piece and feel like it's completed, because now I'm looking at it going like, oh, I should have also added a shadow here, or I should have blacked in that area there. And sometimes what I do is even when it's drawn analog like this, when I scan it in, I'll take the paint bucket and just experiment dropping black either on characters or around characters. Because it's temporary, right? So like I'll just do it on another layer to see what it would look like. And that's one way to find all these shapes and stuff. But this is really fun, and it's a kind of an important page because it's the only page I think that's going to have all of our main characters on one page for this story. So it's Walker and Dina. Then to the bottom left of Walker, the kid, on the bottom left of the page is young Moon, Mobius Moon, who is one of our main characters. And then on the far right, you've got both Cutter from the original series, who you only see from the back, but the girl that he's talking to is his daughter, young Cutter, who is the other main character of the series. So it's the only time I think we'll probably see all of them together like this. So it's Walker and Dina, Moon and Cutter. and original cutter too.
Mhm.
And then if you're really, really crazy hardcore fan of Powers, all the way in the far back in the top right is Captain Cross from the original series. If you like middle-aged balding Italian guys.
I don't know if Josh Flanders likes middle-aged balding Italian guys, but I know he's a huge Powers fan and has a few pieces in his collection already of yours. And congrats to Josh for picking this one up.
Yay, Josh! That's a good home for this. I really appreciate it. I really love this page. I felt like there was a lot of emotion going on here, especially Walker. I mean, Cutter Senior. He's such a great character because he's kind of he's so far from perfect. He's a little crooked, but he's not a bad guy. He's definitely a bit of an asshole, but he's a caring father. And to see that here was really cool to get a chance to show off. Yeah, he's a layered character. All these characters are.
Yeah. Thank God for Brian Bendis.
Yeah.
All right. We got lot 5 next year. So another piece with Walker and Dina and an overturned bus, I guess, in the background there. So this one's $900, and this is 11 by 17. It is so is this a DPS? How was it printed in the book?
Yeah, this is another double page spread.
Okay.
And this is from behind young Moon, Mobius Moon. He's a kid. It's sort of his origin. Is his mother and father had a fight at his school, and that it's kind of funny looking for in black and white. It's kind of funny to look at that body squished behind Walker.
Yeah.
It's kind of comical. I don't know. It's just my dark mind. But yeah, she crushed him. So that's his dad being crushed under a school bus. Now that's a heck of a way to start a day. But here it is Dina, who later becomes a mentor character for Mobius. So this is a flashback to when he's a kid and he met Walker and Dina during their heyday. So every now and then there's a flashback of our classic characters in their prime. And this is one of the few of them. I think in the whole 12 issue run, the first arc, there's maybe 3 times this happens.
Where you actually see like Walker and young Dina.
Yeah. Actually, I think only 2, but I have such a bad memory. I think it's just these 2 shots that we're seeing now.
Well, it's an image that I won't soon forget.
Yeah, it kind of harkens back to the Retro Girl thing, right? Because Retro Girl was found at a school playground.
Oh, very nice. And again, this one's on 11 by 17 DPS. And I should have wrote down the issue number because I did find that the book, and I was able to find the published image.
I think it's like issue 3, maybe 4.
Okay.
Or 2.
Is this on two pieces of
11
by 17? So it's actually.
Oh wait! I don't know. No, this is sideways. You're right. Yeah, this is just one page that I turned sideways.
That was it was 11 by 17. Right. That's why I wasn't sure if it was published sideways or if it was actually a DPS.
Oh, that's why I said okay. Yeah, but it's published as a double page spread.
Got it.
And that's how you meet deadlines.
That's right. All right, next up, we have lot 6 next. We're going to move to some covers here from the Powers 25 series. This is the cover to issue 2. And again, just a carry over from that interior page we just saw. This one's priced at $1,000 on 11 by 17. And again, I think you even had an Instagram post about this one, just doing the light lines and how you handle that. But just the lighting on this piece, and again, it's just a haunting image to see on a comic shop's shelf. I have to believe.
Yeah, this was fun because this is one of those pieces where I was talking about earlier, the difference between drawing analog and digitally. So I drew all of this analog. So I used a brush, just a brush and pen, and all those long, thin lines. I could have done them absolutely perfectly with using Clip Studio and the digital tools that come with it, but it's not nearly as rewarding. And there's certain effects you just can't get digitally that you can with a brush. So this was really fun doing, pardon me, really long lines and using all those old school skills of brush control. There's a communication level that happens with you and the artwork that is just different when you're working analog. And this is a lot of fun, a lot of hard work too, to be honest. Yeah, I just had a great time doing it. I recorded this one, and it was another really fun play of light and darkness. And yet again, now that I have a break time from it, I'm looking at it and go, oh, I should have done this or I should have done that. This one makes me feel a little pretty proud, especially in light of going to that Eisner experience, where this is how he did everything. He did everything. He had like a ruler and a number 2 pencil, like him and Kirby. This is all they had. Some quill pens. The quill pen might have been like the really fancy thing, or a T-square, a circle template, like that. That was them going like really, really crazy with technology. Everything else was just what can you do and express with just your pen.
Right. Did you do the coloring on this one too?
No, this is all Nick Filardi.
Okay.
Yeah, Nick is one of the best colorists, most versatile colorists in the industry. And again, he did this really fun. I said one of Taki. Taki's my colorist on many a project, and she's also amazing. And it's just fun to see Nick just go crazy on stuff.
Well, congrats to PX00 for picking this one up.
Thank you, PX00.
I just want to add, like, PX, like, I'm jealous that you're going to have this on your wall because I think this will look really, really cool on the wall.
She did say that, when we were pricing them out and stuff. Taki was like, this is a piece that would look really good on a wall. Because some art just, it's nice looking art, right? But like there's I guess this is more about the composition than anything else, and it just really draws your eye into it.
It's very graphic, I mean, in the way the line work and everything is done. I mean, it could be a rock poster, it could be, it's something that has design elements that I think would complement almost any room setting. But I'm with you there. I mean, and you don't always get that, but there's something about this piece, and you can see the coloring's a little different than the way the finished, the black and white is, like maybe around the shadow behind her and stuff, but with her head. But yeah, it's just a striking image, and PX has chosen wisely.
Thank you.
I mean, yeah, this is gonna look really, really good on the wall because it just has a lot of like static energy. Like, it just looks like it's actually like moving.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
All right, well, lot 7 is next, another cover. This one is the cover to issue 6, priced at $1,000 on 11 by 17. And again, just a fun moment in time. You're picking the right moment as the cards are being transferred, and to get that cityscape behind it. I mean, that's a jumble of buildings that together make for it's just so striking and visually engaging, and then you throw those characters on top of it. I mean, on the playing cards, I love this piece.
Thanks. I gotta say, this is one of my favorite covers that I've ever done. I'm really in awe of people who have great concept covers, and typically my covers are more compositional. And when this one came about, and it came about because my favorite way to figure out how to do a cover is I like the way Marvel used to do covers way back in like 60s and 70s, where the cover was either a straight up recreation of an event that happens in the book, it was just that, right? And I love that idea. So often that's how I'll figure out what to draw on the covers, what happens in the book, and recreate it on the cover. So that's how I came about the idea. And I just knew it needed some background because of the weird shuffling of the cards. It just kind of asked for something in the back. And so even though they're not full figures and there's like close up of the hands, it's truly, truly one of my favorite covers. And then, which you can't see too clearly here on the color version, Nick Filardi figured out this pattern to do on the characters' faces that is very reminiscent of when you look up closely at actual playing cards. There's almost like that dollar bill engraving pattern lines that describe the forms and shape of people's faces. And when he did that, it was like one of those other moments where I'm just like, oh God, Nick is just amazing. But yeah, that all said and done, one of my favorite pieces was this cover.
Wow, I'm trying to see if I can look at the color image and maybe show people. But oh yeah, here let me share this screen just to show off the work that was done there. Let's see, get the right window here, and I can add that.
Nick really is a magician.
Yeah, there you go. Look at that. That is insane.
Yeah, he's so good.
I was just in awe when he handed this in.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
I did not notice that when I was looking at at putting the slide together. But boy, that's so smart. Yeah, it looks like an engraving, right? Like something printed on a dollar bill, or like you say, a trading card could be done that way. I mean, this is Wow.
You can tell that he colors with like a lot of intent and like a lot of like love behind it. Like he loves what he's doing, and you can tell.
Yes, there's a real thought process there.
Yeah, no, that's striking.
And drawing the city background was a lot of fun too, because like I said, a lot of times digitally I can draw that. In fact, I probably actually did draw it digitally and then inked it freehand. And even with the imprecise line work on there, like I find it has so much more life than even a highly detailed city that's drawn perfectly. Like, there's something about a slightly wobbly line that feels much more alive to me than, perfectly drafted digital lines and stuff,
Sure. Oh, I love it. And PX got another nice cover. That's 2.
Oh, great. Thank you, buddy. Yeah, I'm glad these are getting good homes. Like I said, I'll miss this piece.
Yeah. And this also would look awesome on the wall.
Yeah.
Well, as would the next one. So lot 8 is next. Let me go ahead and highlight that one. So this is the cover to issue 8. And again, very nice coloring job here, but the black and white image is just so it's the composition is beautiful. The 2 characters side by side, and in both cases, the full figure, and then old Dina and Moon. I just thought this one was really beautiful, and the cityscape behind them just kind of frames out the overall artwork so nicely as well. I mean, really great piece here, Mike.
Thank you.
Yeah, I've always loved Mike's like cityscape backgrounds. They're just a character on their own.
I appreciate
so
that.
Good.
Yeah, I grew up just being fascinated by cities. I grew up in a small town called Bordentown in New Jersey, and New York City was like an hour and a half away. And there was always this sign on the main highway there saying, the distance to New York and stuff. So like I had just always seen it as this sort of maze that has all this personality, because you've got older parts of the city and brand new skyscrapers and all this life and history that goes into these buildings. And it's just something that I've always tried really hard to make part of Powers, and I'm glad that comes across. And this was fun because I got to draw old Dina next to young Dina, and then Moon facing off against this other big dude.
Is that do you get any direction on these, or are these just all you on the covers?
Pretty much all me. I mean, sometimes I'll hand in multiple sketches. Like usually I'll try to do like 4 sketches of something and hand it in to both Brian and our editor, Daniel Chabon at Dark Horse. And when we have that, then we'll pick something out together. Every now and then I'll know exactly what to do. And this is one of those covers because it was like a heavy talking scene. So there wasn't, like I said, I like to grab moments that happen inside the book. And there was a moment here where there's this kind of standoff between these 2 characters. So I thought that would be fun. And I don't remember why I did young Walker and Dina. There might be the flashback might be in this issue. I'm not too sure. But it was a lot of fun.
Yeah. And also really good composition.
Oh, thanks. I think filling in like I did give Nick some direction on this, which was the background. I didn't want it to be fully black, but pretty dark that goes into a fade, which Nick did here because I still wanted those shapes on the buildings. But then Nick did this thing with the color, with the light on the bottom there. I didn't give him any direction for that. He did these traffic lights, and it would have looked pretty dull without that, on the actual cover.
Really good. You
Yeah.
know what? He just needs to calm down.
Yeah, Nick, we never give Nick direction. Nick knows what to do. And what's fun is he will try stuff out. Very rarely that doesn't work, but we always love that he's like willing to just risk trying something new. And 99% of the times it works.
Yeah.
And this is a good example. Like, we didn't say anything about this light source down here. He did all that himself, and it makes the cover as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, it really just adds to the composition actually. And yeah, seriously, he just keeps getting better each time, and I'm always like just holding my breath, like, okay, what's he gonna do next? It's incredible. It's amazing. He's growing all the time.
Yeah.
Well, we have then another cover from Powers 25 next, and this one, you've kind of done these before where you show a couple different scenes. I think that's kind of what we get a little bit here, and the color once again kind of helps separate them a bit. This is lot 9, the cover to issue 10 from Powers 25, and it's priced at $900. Again, just a fun composition that Nick's coloring, I think kind of just adds a little bit of spice to the piece, going from green to red to blue like that, or green, blue to red like that. Sorry.
Yeah, I love that. It's almost like the spectrum colors right there that he just chose. Also, that background, I just gave him to him raw like this. I didn't have any direction, and so he added even that lightning effect around Moon's eyes to sort of accentuate that more. He just makes it more cover friendly. Like, I pride myself in composition and storytelling. I'm not great when it comes to things like special effects. Like, every time somebody's shooting powers out of their hands, I'm like, oh, this looks terrible. Like, typically I'm just trying to copy Walt Simonson. But
or like a Kirby Crackle.
The Kirby Crackle is always fun to do.
Yeah.
But this was fun too, because I was doing this weird, it's sort of like torn paper, these panels, and sort of not, flaming out. And like, Nick just knew how to brought it all together. And it's I'm really happy with it, even though these are close-up of people's faces. There's a lot of power and emotion that came across here, and I'm really happy with that.
This is a really unique look for you, Michael Oeming. And again, like, I think it's one of those pieces that will look really striking on the wall.
Thank you, Taki Soma.
You're welcome.
It would make it for a good shirt, a good power shirt.
That too, yeah, it definitely would.
Yeah.
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 Also, I think the images look like movie theater tickets.
Yeah.
I don't know why
those torn shapes kind of look like those punched holes on the corners. I think that's why.
Yeah.
Nope, I see it, and the buildings help too. No, but again, it's these pieces, with at least with Nick doing them, it's a little bit of a collaboration. That you have some trust there, whether it's the effects or adding that extra background layer that just kind of helps tie the images together a little bit differently, for publication. I think that
it's definitely it's definitely a collaboration. I always ask Nick to sign the cover, to sign his pieces, as he brings so much to it.
Does he?
Mm-hmm.
Good.
Yeah. Oh, and I think I sent you some Powers prints to go along with some of these.
My gosh, I totally forgot about that. Oh, hey, well, keep talking for a second. I'll
okay.
what those were for, because I remember that they were in there, and then since I got the package almost a couple weeks ago, I didn't. I
should have been explicit. Yeah, we Dark Horse that provided us with a bunch of prints at conventions.
Yeah,
to promote Powers, and I think for Shadow of the Golden Crane. So I think I sent in a handful of these that I think for the covers people could get a print of either the Powers piece or a Shadow of the Golden Crane.
Yeah.
Which are all signed.
I can here, I'll hide the
You just
slide.
hold that in front of the camera, that'd be fine. There you go.
There we go. So we got that one and this one as well. And like you said, these and all
Yeah, that was an early promo for Shadow of the Golden Crane.
So what we can do is anybody who purchases a page today or pages will include some of these with them.
There you go.
Yeah, get myself over here.
Yeah,
thank you for reminding me, Mike, because I totally
forgot.
No,
I'm sorry I wasn't more clear on it,
It's okay. I mean, I figured that's what it was for, but I just forgot. So let's see, lot 9 still available at $900. We have one more Powers cover, I believe. Let's see. This is the cover to issue 12. And it's priced at $1,300. It's on 11 by 17. You weren't bashful on putting a lot of effects in this piece.
This is the one I was telling you about, where I was just trying to do Walt Simonson. Actually, it was a mix of Walt Simonson and Art Adams. If you remember, there's the comic book that made me want to be an artist was X-Men Annual 9, where Storm it's drawn by Art Adams and Storm becomes Thor. And there's a Walt Simonson homage that Art does where she's holding up the hammer and all this energy coming out. And I was definitely thinking of that when I did this piece. And this is issue 12, which is the last issue of this arc. I don't know what let's put this. It's the last issue of this arc. I'll say that. And this features most of the characters here. It's Mobius and Cutter, Dina. The guy to the left is Archie's kind of our new Trip Hammer sort of rich supervillain. Enki's on the cover, and then this group in the back is this new group of superheroes that are all involved in the main story. So that was a lot of people, a lot of drawing, and fun, just to do one of these big group shots. And again, Nick brought this all to a whole other level of life. And if anybody's interested who buys any of these covers, if you wanted to frame it with like an equal sized color piece, I know Nick would be happy to hand over a color file so you could print it out and have it next to you.
Yeah,
well, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
We can get you a high res copy of the colors. So
fantastic. All right. Well, this is lot 10, $1,300 still available. Now I think we've got a few. I think you sent me some random Powers pages. Just a couple. So let's see. Lot 11. Let's see, where was that? All right, so lot 11 is $400, 11 by 17. Dina versus the Stalker. This probably doesn't end well for the Stalker. I mean,
no, this is old school Powers too. This goes back to like the early 2000s. The Stalker is actually an ex-boyfriend of hers, and he obviously obsesses over her, and things do not end well for this guy. This is where Dina. Well, you kind of guess what's going to happen here.
Oh, I can guess.
Literally stabbed in the back. So what would you do?
Yeah. Our characters have some dark secrets. This is her darkest moment for sure. I mean, it's a 20-year-old spoiler, so yeah, she ends up like disposing of his body in a what are those burner things? The incinerator in the basement. Yeah. So she doesn't bother with the legal aspects of it. She's like just gets rid of the body, and that's the end of that.
Yep.
And I guess she never goes to the hospital because she's a badass.
Yeah, I love it's a very dark scene, but just the way you move from panel 1 to 2 to 3 to 4, you're bringing the eye right down to those bottom two panels, which really kind of are the foundation of the page. And I love it. It's great storytelling, like you were saying. It's composition and storytelling are things you feel are your strengths, and it's you can see it here.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, she must have just had her tetanus shot.
This is like a classic storyline at its peak, right? Like, this was like a big story element of the first.
Yeah. And the other thing too is I look at this and again, like I have this really interesting struggle with digital work, which is I love it. Lots of people love it. Like it, it delivers a great product, but or project. But like when I look at this and I see how simple like the door is, I now realize, oh, if I was drawing this digitally, it's so easy to overload it with lines. And you can lose a simplicity. And often I find when I'm working digitally, I'm taking lines out. I'm actually going in and spending the time to take lines out because getting across this sort of simplicity is difficult. And then when you have a tool as easy as digital tools, you can just keep going. And even though there's an inaccuracy to a lot of the line work here, I prefer it. It just has more soul to it, if that makes any sense.
Or I would say it has more life. Those lines. You don't have to follow nature perfectly ever. And I think that that's kind of a trademark to your style, and it just works really well. So let's see. We have another DPS. I think is the next piece here. Let's see for lot 12. Yes.
Oh no.
Little male nudity on this one, but this is the super.
And it's funny because there's that close-up panel that Walker's make a comment about it, but I think I don't think he's saying that there.
So this is on 2 boards. It is 22 by 17 with masking tape holding them together, Marcus, just in case you're going to ask again. It's $900, and you're telling a good story. I could see this being done on an episode of CSI. Right?
Well, it's a play off of and it's a play off of the first or second issue it would have been second issue where Retro Girl has her autopsy. So it's almost a direct recreation of that scene. And again, this is in the heyday of Powers. This is Walker and Dina doing a murder investigation with autopsies and heavy shadows and stuff. So this is as classic Powers as you can get. And a major character too. Super Shock was one of the. Actually, is it Super Shock? I don't remember.
That was what the file said. I could have had it wrong.
I have such terrible memory. I can't. All these naked dudes look the same to me.
I mean, he's really stacked, so probably him.
Yeah, let's call it him.
Yeah.
But Walker and Dina is definitely in their heyday. I always had fun drawing characters put on rubber gloves. Like it was always a challenge at first, and then I discovered the secret of it, which was they could be even worse hands than I normally draw because it's all
exaggerate them a little bit more, right? And then all right, this one's still available at $900, lot 12, and then I think this is the last interior that we have from Powers, and this is lot 13, priced at $400. And I mean, that first panel is just amazing. Just
thanks.
The background and the focus on the gun. You got the characters. You got the Hallmark Oeming lighting on their faces, and I just think this is a great page.
Thank you. Thanks. Yeah, this was fun. These 2 characters here, the guy with the weird face and the little tiny character, don't appear again, I don't think. And it was like they're in part of their own storyline that crossover with Walker and Dina here. And it's funny, in the new series, we have a woman who turns into a giant. And she's a bit of a reoccurring character, whereas the little one, for some reason, we never brought back again, but we should, because she was kind of fun. In fact, the cover for this was like a close-up of a light socket, and she's like kind of peeking out of it.
Oh, I remember that one. Yeah.
And then this guy, I think, is basically an alien of some sort.
Well, I don't question that at all.
Neither do I. He does not look of this world. That's for sure.
Although I would take that hairline in a second.
It is striking. That's sure.
It's there,
Yeah.
and that's what I like.
Okay. Oh. All right. Well, this is the last Powers piece we have. I think we're going into some the Shadow of the Golden Crane covers and some interiors, and then I know we have that one Spirit page that will finish these sets from today. So that one's lot 13. So lot 14 is our next one. This is the cover to issue 2 from Shadow of the Golden Crane, and it is on 11 by 17. And yeah, I mean, again, I love the design on this one, from the buildings in the background, really just kind of giving us the highlights on the edges of the important parts, whether it's the window or a roof's edge, into the characters, the design work for that, the element in the background, the demon. I mean, it's just all around fun image here. And this one's priced at $700 again on 11 by 17.
Yeah, really enjoyed this whole series. These characters were fun. That Robertson created these two dudes in the front. They're sort of these opposite characters. One is a Taoist monk or priest, and then the other one's a drunkard. And they're really fun to play off of each other. And then getting to do all the traditional Chinese architecture was a lot of fun, and the research in that was really tough and fun. And drawing one of these weird Mignola-like creatures with the broken joints and stuff. He was just a joy to draw for sure. And I really like this character. I hope that we could return to Susan at some point in the future.
I really like the creature. I think he should be my pet.
See what I can do, Taki.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I love it. I love it. I love like even those little hints of action lines or lighting in the top part there. It's all just fun. It has like a wood block kind of feel to the piece. There's just there's a lot of cool elements in this one. But so this is lot 14 at $700, and I let's see, I think we have another cover image here. Yes, the cover to issue 3 as well.
Yeah, and these will also come with those signed prints. And this was a lot of fun. Oh, God, it was a lot of work though. Like doing all the jars with the octopus pieces and weird body parts that go inside of it. Because there's a scene with an herbalist, and she's got all these strange things inside of these jars. And then there's this like floating ectoplasm creature. So all of those weird little shapes and details and squiggly lines were fun. And again, Chris Robertson writing the story, we flash back to these 3 characters. This is a sort of like Crouching Tiger section of the story where we have 3 very different fighters with different styles. Like the girl on the far right is like stronger, more powerful, more of a tomboy than the other 2. One is also like a Taoist priest, and then the other one is more of a spy character. And this whole story was just a lot of fun to be able to travel around through different time periods, different dynasties with different researches and different architecture and all of that. And just had a really fun time.
Yeah, to mesh Mignolaverse with Chinese mythos is really an interesting angle.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, all the jars are so interesting. You have to look at them all just to see what a seahorse over here, or a tentacle over there, or something you can't quite identify.
Yeah. And that was all stuff that I found in the research. I couldn't have made that up.
You mean researched and then found and they're real?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. That's
for different types of medicines and stuff like that,
like
as authentic as you can make it. Noel says there's a lot going on, but it doesn't feel busy, and I would agree.
Thanks. And a lot of that's Chris O'Halloran did the colors on this, and again, a colorist can make or break a piece, and he's another really good colorist.
Yeah, agreed.
We have lot 16 next. I think we're going to get, well, actually, the next couple pieces are kind of illustrations that made their way into the trade paperback, if I'm not mistaken. Right? This was some concept art that had Abe Sapien in it as well. So it's on 11 by 17, $400. And because it was in the trade, that was why I couldn't find the published image of this, but it was published.
Yeah, this was the very, very first piece when I was talking to Mike and Katie O'Brien, the editor, about just doing stuff. I sent them, in part of the conversation, I just sent them some stuff. So I think Susan's name was brought up at one point, maybe. And then I just drew these pieces of, and threw Abe in there because Abe is one of my favorites. And I've got a story that I want to do with Abe and some of the other characters as a one shot. Hopefully we'll get to someday. But this was sort of it. This is the sort of proof of concept. And then they also use this for that print as well. And the mask, I didn't realize at the time I was drawing. Somebody can help me out here. Who's the floating guy? The Archon, something gray. One of the characters in the Hellboy universe. And they didn't show up in the story, but I was just throwing them together as just an idea of what to do.
Can't recall the name either. Well, we'll see.
Edward Gray. Edward Gray, I think his name is. Yeah.
But essentially, like, you drew this and sent it to Mike Mignola and just said, I want to do this. Is that how it happened?
Kind of.
Okay.
Kind of. You got to address,
Witchfinder?
Witchfinder, there you go.
Okay.
Or as
Not
I say.
gray at all.
Okay. Or as I say sometimes, Witchfinder. But even in my point in my career, I seek out work. Like, I'm not afraid to ask for work, whether I'm looking for work or it's something I want to do. Like, instead of sitting around and going, oh, I really wish Mike would ask me to do X, Y, or Z, or I really wish that so and so would ask me to do something. I'll ask. You're never too big in your career to look for the things that you want, and you can't expect things to just magically happen. So that's what this was.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Well, we have another piece here. Let me switch to this next one. So lot 17 was another piece that was published in the trade paperback, and I love the using the hands to make the shadow. I mean, that's part of the story, but this was just kind of cool. The way you handle it here. So this is $600, and again, I couldn't get the published image from this because it was in the trade, but a lot of work went into this piece. I mean, not just in the characters and the design, but in the lettering too. I mean, how did you do this?
The hardest part was that lettering.
Yeah.
First of all, it's another language, and if you know more than one language, you can see how badly things can be translated. And this was from an actual Taoist prayer. I did my once I blew up the image that I found, trusting that the internet's translation was correct. I still had to make sure that I could figure out what those images looked like once I blew them up. Like there's some real subtleties there, which is also where some of the tearing came into place on the page. I was like, oh, if I just put a hole there, then I don't have to worry about getting the symbol completely wrong. But that took a long time, but it was also fun to do. And it was fun to do because I got to use a flat pen, which is it's like a regular quill pen, except it's a long flat tip. So you can get a very thin line and then a very thick line right next to each other. And I really, really enjoyed doing that.
And he didn't ask me to help him at all. And, Japanese language use, Chinese characters, what we call kanji. So some of these letters are actually very familiar to me. And in my personal opinion, he did a really good job.
Congratulations, Mike. I mean, you were going for the authenticity, and you wanted to to do it yourself, and you could have leaned on Taki for some help, but I don't think I would have had the nerve You're laying down ink here, Mike. This,
Sure.
it's forever. I know you can use some, whiteout, or maybe, you could have done it on a separate board just so you could, not worry about it, but you did it all on here. And it is a fabulous piece to see. And Josh Flanders picked this one up. So congrats, Josh.
Thanks,
This is
Josh.
a really, really amazing piece of
And
art.
that's also some kind of Taoist prayer in there. So I hope it's a good one. May this piece curse who's ever home it hangs.
Oh man, big trouble in Little China, type of thing happens to
Yeah,
Josh.
yeah.
We'll blame it all on you.
But it was a lot of fun, and it's just
I see a lot of like earthly symbols, like there's fire, there's earth, there's the sun, water.
Yeah, it was definitely like, I do remember, like, all joking aside, I remember like I had to look up Taoist prayers, and this one I can't remember specifically what it was about, but it was like a prayer protection kind of thing.
Yeah.
And that's why there's all the sort of the earth symbols in there. And then there's drawing Hellboy was lots of fun. Just an excuse to draw Hellboy, really.
That's a lot of work to just draw Hellboy, but it was so well worth it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Let's see here.
Yeah,
Take a look at lot 18 next. Okay, so we have 5 interiors from the book, and if I'm not mistaken, I think a couple of these were sequential. But again, I didn't write down the issue number. I apologize to everybody when I was
It's my fault too. I have a bad habit of not writing. It takes a second to just write in the upper corner of the page what issue it is, what page it is, and I just refuse to do it. And then I never understand what page it is. So I'm sorry.
That's all right. We can appreciate the art even if we don't know the exact page numbers. But I do know that I think these first 3 that we're going to show were sequential, although I might not have it in the right order.
Okay.
So this is lot 18 at $400, and again, it's you got Hellboy slapping a giant horned salamander or something. It's fun. Just fun storytelling on this one. I love how you kind of blend the bottom panel and into the up the side of the artwork, kind of going into the top panel. That's the kind of fun storytelling I always appreciate in comics, just kind of like tying things together like that. And then you have the 4 inset panels as well that just make this piece fun.
Thanks.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun drawing an ectoplasm monkey as well.
An ape.
Yeah, and it was funny. Like Chris Roberson wrote that this scene specifically takes place in Portland, and he gave me the address, and I found like a photo, like a street photo from the time period, and did all this research, and then it all got covered up with the with the fight that was supposed to be the establishing shot. But then I realized I only had enough space to show like a little bit of like the washer dryer place.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
Oh, we have a school bus in this one as well. I see in that first panel.
I destroyed at least 4 different school buses in my comic book career. Takio, we did it. I just saw it in that Powers page previously, and then yeah.
What do they do to you?
Well, my son was a school bus driver for a while, so maybe
That's
it was
true.
some Susan giving me some of their psychic powers.
Yeah.
All right. Well, this one's $400. Lot 18, then lot 19 has a similar extended battle here. I think.
Yeah, this is probably the next page.
So I think I did put these in order then, right? Because then this is the ape comes in and smacks the creature as well, and again, fun lighting throughout this one. Those first 4 panels are just as a battle scene are just really fun. I love that 4th one where Hellboy's just ripping open the maw.
It's just so fun.
Now, is that in the script? Like Hellboy grabs it by the jaw and tries to, do a beheading all by himself.
Probably. I think Chris probably mentioned that in there, but I'm not fully sure. Pardon me, Chris is great at just give me freedom for the fights and stuff. Like the intentions of the characters are what he writes for the most part, but it's very possible that was written in there as well.
Well, very dynamic. And again, one of the things that definitely, I get to handle a lot of art. So the thing that I always note when I see your pieces I really enjoy the ones where you just carry the blacks all the way to the edge. You know, I mean, it
Oh
just
yeah.
it makes for the piece of art to just feel more finished and have a weight to it. And you do that a lot in your pieces. So
Hmm.
this, I'm just reminded of that. I really do love that about your work.
Thanks, thanks. I like doing that. I also like breaking it up sometimes, because if you have too much of one effect, it'll stop having an effect,
Hmm.
you know. Yeah, but I definitely like that a lot.
All right, well, we will show lot 20 next. This is another piece in the series. So this is $450 for this one on 11 by 17. And is that a squirrel there at the end?
I was going to comment on it's so weird. I draw a lot of animals. I draw anthropomorphic books, but that is supposed to be a cat.
It's a cat. Okay, well, I can't see the ears. The image is a little too small. Well, I guess I should be holding up the original and then I could see
No,
it.
it's so funny. Yeah, I definitely struggle with certain animals sometimes, and sometimes you just got to move on.
Hey,
And
Mike,
I remember drawing the cat's head several times, and I realized, oh, okay,
We have cats.
I know.
well,
But
I'm looking at
way
the
too
original
small.
now and I can see the whiskers on it. So now I feel like I
He
feel
looks
very foolish for calling them
no, no,
squirrel.
no. I mean, his tail is puffed up because he's hissing, right? But
Yep.
because I drew the head way too small, it looks like a squirrel. That's why it largely looks like a squirrel. But the most important page is how cool Hellboy looks.
Right.
I really like that third panel and then that close up of him on the bottom shot.
Yeah, that's why I chose to focus on
Always
it too.
love
I
a
thought I love the way you
Yeah.
handled the lighting on there. The horns essentially all being silhouette as white. I mean, I thought that was really smart.
That is
That
really
was a
smart.
fun discovery because his horns are tough. They're kind of like Bart Simpson's hair. Like if you don't draw it right, it doesn't quite look right. And weirdly, I found that making them just silhouettes
Worked better.
really well. I
Yeah.
don't know why, but yeah, like the next page has probably my favorite Hellboy drawings that I've ever done on them. And it's kind of because of that, of leaving just negative space. It's weird.
Mhm.
Sometimes it's better off not drawing certain things,
Yeah.
But I really, really like this page. Lots of fun action. I'm very critical about the way I draw Hellboy and really happy with this page, especially that weird shot there where he's snatching the thing. Like that's a tough angle to draw that hand and Hellboy's face.
Well,
And,
especially
really
that right hand of Doom, snatching anything up is kind of it's just hard.
Yeah.
All right. Well, this one is 450 still available. Lot 2021 is next. I didn't have the published image from this one, but this one's 450, and yeah, I love the way again. I like the way you've drawn Hellboy, and either you're silhouetting the horn there in like the third panel, just one of them, and again, just a fun page, and again, filling the blacks out to the edge of the page. All of that is just nice to see.
Thanks. And they're just here at the BPRD headquarters, and this is Susan. She had a psychic vision that something bad was going to happen to Hellboy, and I forget what monkey guy's name is, but she rushes out to make sure that she helps him and stuff.
I like that they're walking over the BPRD symbol on the floor.
This is again lot 21, 450. Now the next one's a fun one, I have to say. Lot 22. It's the last Hellboy interior page we have. It's priced $500, and again, just casual, hanging out, talking. I love the way again you've handled the layout of this. Hellboy looks just far too comfortable throughout the whole thing.
Of course, look at those pancakes. You have to have
right, and it's just it's a casual moment.
Pancakes. But this is the one I was talking about. Like, this is my favorite drawing of Hellboy, the one where he's got his head back slightly. Yeah, and I'm just not. I think what's interesting is all the black is just in his hair, right? Like, I'm not actually putting any black on the face. So he gets a really nice contrast with the shapes behind him. I'm only now realizing why I liked it. Like, I kept looking at this going, why do I like this so much more than like some of the other more detailed stuff? And I think it just works out as a nice negative space like that.
Yeah.
And drawing the diner was fun. Let's go to 1950s kind of thing.
Yeah. Do you
And
look up reference for that when you, or can you do 1950s, by just pure memory?
some reference on here, but growing up in Jersey, a lot of these kind of restaurants were just all over the place. And with this, I was mostly figuring out a lot of those 1950s diners didn't have corners. Like everything was rounded off. So once you figure that out, the rest was kind of easy.
Well, this is a good one. So it's your favorite, one of your favorites, where you've drawn Hellboy on this one.
Yeah.
Let's see. So $500 on this one for lot 22. So the final piece of the show today is a spirit page, and it comes also with a pencil only copy of the page as well. So let me go ahead and show lot 23. And I remember I think we've had a spirit page or two in the past, and you really enjoyed getting to work on the spirit. And yeah, definitely a slightly different style. I mean, stylistically, but is it kind of the period that the stories are told that you enjoyed, or is it the spirit character, or is it a combination of both?
Well, it's a lot of the Eisner magic, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so this was, I think it was issue 7 of the DC Comics run, and I got to write and draw it, and it's probably my single proudest or favorite thing that I've done on my own. And it's just very much taken over by the Eisner spirit with this, especially those water panels at the top. Yeah, just so much fun drawing the spirit and his adventures and getting loose with brushes and textures and stuff. And and this does come with, I found the pencil page for it as well, which is pretty rare, especially for something this old, because I think this goes back to 2007, 2008.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Well, no, I want to say maybe like 2010.
Maybe, well, by the time it came out, maybe. Yeah, because we were still in Bordentown together. I remember going up to New York to talk to DC, looking for a job, and this was the one that popped up.
Yeah, and I think this is one of the very last piece that's
I don't
available.
think. Yeah, all the other pieces I have left of spirit stuff is like scraps, basically. Like a panel that I redrew or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so you sold everything. Okay.
Yeah, and the piece that's on my wall.
There you go. Well, then this is the last of it. I love the groggy eyes there in the third panel.
That was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Getting knocked out or going unconscious.
Yeah, this is a really, really fun series. And I do see a lot of like Eisner influence all over.
Man, I'd love to draw the spirit again. That would be so fun.
Oh, it's never too late to pitch another story, Mike.
I don't know who currently owns the rights to it,
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, like this issue, I don't know that this issue was ever even reprinted in anything. The DC run was famous, obviously, for Darwin Cook's run, and I think Darwin's books were collected, but I'm not sure that this story was ever collected in anything. I think it's just the floppies out there, and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. So there was a question from Murdoch about what was it, Mike? Do you have or not Murdoch? I'm sorry, Brent, who want to know about BPRD Soul of Venice pages left.
I feel like I've got one or two, but they're hard to find because I just have 2 closets full of.
We've seen that closet before with all the manila envelopes with art in them. Yes.
Yeah,
that's why you need like you said, you could use a little help around the studio.
Sure. That said, like I don't have many pages, so even offhand, I can't say what it is.
Yeah, I have a feeling that we don't.
I think I remember seeing like one of those weird bird gods. So there's like this sort of crane like god, which is the second time I've drawn for Mike Mignola a crane god. It seems to have only happened in his books. There's some sort of weird crane demon god thing on one of the pages. Yeah.
Okay.
So slim pickings if they're there.
If there is anything. Well, yeah. I mean, I'm sure Well, if it could make its way to your website someday if it did still exist.
Or we can bring it back here in the future when we figure things out.
Right. So let me remind everybody, I want you to email sales. Let's see right here. I can highlight that. It's right down below. sales@comiccardfans.com or bill@comiccardfans.com. That works too. Just your contact information and the lots you want. Josh, I know we've emailed numerous times over the years. I think Tim and I have emailed before. PXPX I'm not familiar with, but please, the three of you, just shoot me an email. We'll get everything squared up and get the artwork shipped out early this week. I will be sending out a mailing of the pieces that didn't sell and posting them up to the site so we can let everybody know what pieces are still available. If you're watching this show after the fact, you can also email the sales@comiccardfans.com address, and we will go ahead and let you know if there's a piece still available that you're interested in, because we know a lot of people on a Saturday afternoon probably have other things to do than watch a live sale show. So if you're interested in something, reach out. I will let you know if it is still available or not. I could show, I guess I could want me to run through the slides really quick and just remind everybody what's still available?
And then you get one of those prints too, if you want to.
That's right. And we will give a print to everyone who picked up a piece of art. All right, let's see. Let me show lot 1 and then we'll go through these. So the Bug Wars.
8 and 10 just got claimed.
Oh, see, I just switched to the wrong thing, and Alberto has claimed lots 8 and 10. So I can.
Thank you, Alberto.
Mark those as sold. I'm going to remind myself when we go through these which ones those were 8 and 10. But so first up, we have the okay, sounds good, Newell. So we have the Bug Wars Spider Witch cover image, and it's priced at $1,200. Then we also have lot 3. That was the Page to Powers 25, number 2, with Cutter in it, and the head that will cause you nightmares, $500. Then let's see. So we're reminding everybody, this is the one that Alberto just picked up, and that's a good one, Alberto.
Thank you.
That one is really nice.
Thank you, Alberto.
So over here back to 5, though. This DPS, it's not 11 by 17, but it was printed as a DPS. Is lot number 5 priced at $900. Then lot 9, the cover to Powers 10 is still available at $900. And then the other piece that Alberto picked up was lot 10, the cover to Powers 12. So another good one, Alberto. Thank you very much for picking up both of those.
Yay.
Then, let's see. We have the lot 11 at $400. Powers page with Dina versus the Stalker. Then we have the DPS, the Autopsy, and that one is priced at $900 for lot 12. We have lot 13, another one with Walker and Dina and an alien and a very tiny woman. This one's $400. Then we get into the Hellboy universe here. So lot 14 is priced at $700. The cover to Shadow of the Golden Crane, issue 2. And the issue 3 cover is also $700 and is available as well. It's lot 15, 11 by 17. Then lot 16 was a piece that was published in the trade paperback of all 4 issues from Shadow of the Golden Crane. Earlier, I guess the piece that got the gig for you at $400. Then let's see, lot 18. These are we got some interiors from this book. Lot 18 is priced at $400. You got lot 19 at $400 as well. Lot 20 is $450. And lot 21 is $450 as well. And then that final one, the one that Mike said was one of his favorite drawings of Hellboy here. This one was $500. And again, all of these are on 11 by 17, except the one of the DPS is still available is on 22, would be 22 by 17. And then the final piece here was the Spirit page at $600. And it also comes with the pencil layout, also on 11 by 17. All right.
Congrats.
Very good.
Thanks, everybody. Thank you, everyone. I appreciate it.
Exactly. And as always, the patronage of the channel viewers is always very appreciated. And, we really appreciate the support, all of us here on the show today. So Mike and Taki, we've it's been a while, but I hope we get to have you on a little bit more regularly in the future. And definitely, there's always stuff we can talk about. If there's things that we can promote for you that you have coming up, or that we can help out with, just let me know. We should try to get Bendis on sometime.
Yeah,
That might be an interesting one. Do a power show, with some pages and have him on. I mean, I would enjoy that. It would definitely
yeah.
All right, cool. All right, well, everybody in the chat, enjoy the rest of your Saturday afternoon or evening, depending on where you are in the world. We appreciate you tuning in, and we'll see you again real soon. And you get to see Taki one last time with the mask on. And I did not put a mask on. I'm sorry, everybody. Maybe next time.
All right, guys. Thank you, everybody. Thanks for coming in your questions, man.
All right. Take care, everyone.